Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the committee. My name is Rachel Orsinger. I'm here on behalf of the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence, our 6 domestic violence agencies in the state of Rhode Island, and Sisters Overcoming Abusive Relationship, which is our task force of survivors. So we are here because reproductive rights is a very important issue for survivors of domestic violence and other violence against women crimes. Any restrictions and burdens that get placed on the access to this health care will hit victims of the violence against women crimes more heavily than it will women who are not being coerced by someone who is assaulting them or trafficking them. Specifically, I'm here to talk about Bill 7612. This is Representative Handy's bill that would repeal the Chapter 23-4.2, which is the spousal notification for abortion. Now, this is a segment of the law that is unconstitutional and unenforceable. So it's not currently in effect. In 1992, the U.S. Supreme Court in Planned Parenthood versus Casey, while in that case they let certain other burdens on these accesses go through, they said that spousal notification wasn't constitutional, and they based a lot of that on the extra burden and very possibly dangerous burden that it places on victims of domestic violence. Their quote was that mere notification of a pregnancy is frequently a flashpoint for battering and violence within the family. The number of battering incidents is high in pregnancy, and often the worst abuse can be associated with pregnancy. The battering husband may deny parentage and use the pregnancy as an excuse for abuse. And we know from statistics in Rhode Island, in the country, from stories in Rhode Island, from statistics across the country, that pregnant women are at high risk for abuse, and that when abuse occurs during pregnancy, it's a high risk for potential domestic violence homicide. So we're deeply concerned about this. Now, even if this bill, the current law, were enforceable and constitutional, I would argue that for happy, healthy, safe, respectful marriages, this is not necessary. We tell the people we love when we're undergoing medical procedures. We tell the people when we love them, we feel safe, we feel respected. You don't need a law saying you have to tell your husband something. So what this law is really addressing are those relationships where that's not going to happen naturally. We're trying to institute a public policy that will make the people who would not, of their own, tell their husbands to have to do so. And our clientele, the victims of domestic violence in Rhode Island, the 8,000 to 10,000 victims and their children who seek services each year, they're the ones who would be burdened by that requirement, because the law does not provide for, nor could it provide for, all of the specific situations that require safety planning around your doctor sharing that sort of information with your abuser. Now, given that this is unconstitutional and unenforceable, what's the problem? The problem is that it is still, you go on the website, you look at the Rhode Island general laws, and it still says that this is the law. Now, I'm a big legal geek. I like reading Supreme Court decisions, but I know that that is not everyone's favorite thing, and there are many people out there who are going to take your word for what is on your website about what is the law, and they are going to make decisions accordingly. Unfortunately, the fact that it's there means that it can be used to have basically the same effect that it being enforceable would. So I'm urging you to clean up this law as soon as you can, hopefully this year. Given the unconstitutionality, this isn't a policy change. This is merely a matter of the General Assembly being clear with Rhode Islanders about what is the true and accurate law of our state. And I think that this would be a great step forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Any questions? Yes, Vice Chair Costa.
Thank you, Chairman. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Quick question. You said 8 to 10 domestic violence cases per year. Those aren't pregnant.
Sorry, no, those are not. We don't track pregnancy for the people who are being. Sorry, that's 8 to 10,000 people seeking
your help per year, but that's not 8 to 10,000 pregnant.
Correct.
Okay, I wasn't. That's okay. I wasn't quite sure.
Quickly.
Thank you very much for clarifying that. Appreciate it.
Any other questions for Rachel?